Hey, so yeah, good morning. Day 81. I just remembered some of what I wanted to talk about, and I got something I want to tell you. Um, Let me put this light on. Yeah, okay. So I talked to my mom's last night. Um, she said that she rode her bicycle, her stationary bicycle, for an hour and a half. And I just want to say, I'm really happy to hear that. You know, tell you a little bit about my mom. Now, for all you mama's boys, I don't want y'all crying. And if your mama ain't here, whoo, if your mama ain't here, you got my condolences, and I can share mine with you. How about that? My mama has the biggest heart, the biggest heart. I ain't crying this morning, man, but she's got the biggest heart, the biggest mouth too. She gonna kill me, but I'm fine. I'm already dead. She got the biggest heart too. The biggest heart. I never met a woman who is strong as she is. And I'm not trying to compare people, because we all have different life experiences and we have different things that we appreciate about people, you know. But I never met a woman as strong as her. And of course, it's my mom's, but that just means that I've seen the challenges that she has had for the 43 years I've been on this earth. And she stuck with it, man. I'm talking about a woman that is selfless, a woman that is giving, a woman that is nurturing, a woman that is caring. That's why I said, if you're a mama's boy, you know, I could share my mom's with you, bro. Ma'am, I could share my mom's with you. She'd love, she'd love to not fill that void, but she'd love just like your mom's loved. She'd love it. In fact, from I was talking to my girl at Perro de Agua, and she was telling me that her mom's had a friend, you know, and when she was small, they both breastfed her, and it didn't matter that mom's was white and her friend was black, but they both breastfed each other kids, and that's how my mom's is. She's been a mother to many my whole life. That's all I knew. I've been sharing my mama with people my whole life, and that's just how she lives. But just being frank, because I have to. But no relationship is perfect. And how that movie was with Billy Crystal and Danny DeVito in the 80s or 90s, Throw Mama from the Train, you know. But my mom's is a selfless person. And I think sometimes that's where her and my dad, that's where I get it from. You ever feel like sometimes you're a fool for people? And I'm sure some of you do, but some of you don't. But sometimes I feel like I'm a fool for people. And I'm like, man, I'm done with such and such. And you know what? 2 days later, you're calling them on the phone to check on them. Three days later, you're bringing them some gumbo. You know what I mean? 10 days later, you're loaning them some money. 15 days later, you're cutting their grass or whatever, man. You know what I'm talking about. Some of you do. But mom's has been the real deal since day one, man. My mama ain't never been on a vacation without her kids. You know, shit, when you was sick, right there the whole time. Even as a man, like when I hurt my ankle at work, I'm like, Ma, you need to go home. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to live. You got to go, boo. You know, she bought me ankle braces. I have about 50 ankle braces from when I hurt my ankle and I had to have rehabilitation therapy for over a year. I eventually had surgery with another year of therapy. I got like 50 ankle braces. She was bringing me an ankle brace every day like it was a disposable Solo cup. I said, look, woman, stop spending your money on these daggone ankle braces. The other 49 ain't go nowhere, you know? But that's just how she is, man. I remember being a kid and we always had food, man. Like I have never been hungry in my life when I was a kid. Mom's baked. Hey, morning. Good to see you. Mom's baked. Mom's 3 meals a day, snacks, frozen cups. She was a candy lady for a little while. Like, Mom's held it down, bro. Like, Mom's made you eat. You know, she always had something she was cooking, you know. And it didn't matter who you was. She'll put a pot of coffee on right now, you know. She'll get out of her bed right now. 5 o'clock in the morning. You coming over? She'll get out her bed and make you breakfast. And I'm not talking about no Jimmy Dean microwavable bacon. No, man. Mom's gonna clean them pots. She gonna whip something up. You gonna feel like you're at the dang Windsor Court. That's my mama. That's my mama. And she's done that for thousands. For thousands of people. Selfless, man. Selfless. I always used to tell her, you need to have a talk show. Because you always mess with a bunch of deadheads, you know? You hear her on the phone talking. She's giving advice like she's Dear Abby. And it's like, man, why you keep messing with these people who life is like, they didn't, as the young people say, they didn't crashed out. You know? They didn't crashed out. And you trying to help them to rehabilitate. You trying to help them to have a sense of compass and direction and purpose and understanding. And all they want to do is waste your time, you know? But what mamas do? They waste their time because that's what their baby need, you know? So, anyway, so Mom's told me that, she rode her bike for an hour and a half, you know? And I'm proud of her. I'm really proud of her, you know? When I was a little kid, one of her, man, it's weird. I'm just realizing this. I'm just realizing this right now. But when I was a kid, moms used to always walk. We used to go walk at Kings Grant Park. Some of you might know where that's at. Kings Grant and Marrero, right down the street from John Ehret High School. And we used to go walk at Kings Grant. They had the most frogs you ever want to see in your life on that track. But anyway, we used to walk on that track all the time. One day, I called myself being a runner, you know? And they had this old guy out there. And I say old respectfully. He had a head full of white hair. He did not have on a t-shirt. He looked like one of those wrestlers would look. He had that, well, now I know, it was, you know, he had a piece of hair on his chest, right? He had that white hair, that Ric Flair hair. And he was a nice size for an older man, you know. So evidently he took care of himself when he was younger. But he was running, you know. So he ran past me too many times. And boy, I got on his tail. I got, woo! I got on his tail. And so I was running, and we went around the whole track. I don't know how many times, right? But I stayed on his tail. And you know what he did? He stayed running. And at some point, I had to come up for air. So I stopped. And then when he came back around, he was like, man, why you stopped? You was doing so good. Like, man, you ain't killing me, man. I was young, man. I was a kid. I might have not even been 10 years old. But I ain't never forgot that experience. But now that I'm 43, when I challenge somebody younger than me, and I'm just saying that not competitively, but when I challenge somebody younger than me, like I raced the biker boys a few months ago. I raced the biker boys and I beat them. But I'm a 43-year-old man, so it's like I'm gonna win. I'm gonna win. But I always think of that old man. So mom's had us out there on the walking track, and she walked her life away over the years, And one of the other things was, evidently mom's was taking in more calories than she was burning, So she always had a little weight. Then she lost buku weight, So my whole life, I'm from a family of people that, like most New Orleanians, you hear me? I mean, food is life, Food is life. And we don't really work out. We're active. We're running behind kids. We're on the job. We're running from job to job. We're active. And we're the most susceptible people in a population of people for issues because of that. We don't have time to work out, because we got to live life. We have stuff to do. We have deadlines. I need my energy because I have to go to work. And so, so most of us will struggle with our weight at some point in our lives because of caloric intake, simply put. So like as a little kid, my dad, Pops held it down, I was blessed to have a real woman in my life and a real man in my life who invested in their 5 kids selflessly. And if my dad brought something home, like I remember he liked corn pops, right? He loved Kellogg's corn pops. And like he had this certain little cabinet where all of the cereal went. And sometimes, man, we'll be kids, we'll look at that box like, man, he ain't gonna eat that, man. So we'll open that box up, we'll dump them daggone corn pops out, and we go to town on them, Pops ain't never tripped. But I tell you what, I don't know how young I was, but Pops had a bottle of Alizé. I don't know if y'all remember Alizé. It was some kind of orange. I remember the label was white and blue, and I think it was like orange flavored Alizé. Don't quote me on that, because I was a little kid in the 90s looking at that bottle. I wanted to pop that bottle so many times, but I never did, because he had that bottle in his work closet, and you ain't going in his work closet. If you wanted to keep your hands and your butt black, if you wanted to keep your hands and your butt black, you didn't go in his work closet, So I'd open that door a few times, but I dared not touch anything, But having parents who loved us, man, like having parents who loved us, they didn't always show it the way as a kid you want it or you feel you need it, but man, they showed it, bro, And having that upbringing or having that in the house, it was valuable. It was priceless, man. It was priceless. And that helped me as a man to always be there for my family, And as a son, There's so much I want to do for my parents. So much. I've spent countless hours feeling like I wasn't a good son because I couldn't shower them with diamonds and pearls, you know? And I still struggle with that. Real talk, I still struggle with that. My dad is still working. After all these years, he's still working, you know? And mom's is still working after all these years. And sometimes that really keeps me up at night. Because just like a parent wants to provide for their kids materially and physically and emotionally and help them to be stable and safe, well, some kids want to do that for them when they get older. And I just never had the situation to do that, you know. And like I said, that keep me up. That's the one thing in life keep me up at night, you know. And I'm gonna fix that first chance I get. But you could take for granted, you know, having parents there to be a stabilizing force in your kid's life, you know. And I'm gonna tell you right now, real talk, because my parents were there and because of the example they set, it wasn't easy for them. No marriage is easy, you know. I heard many fusses, you know what I mean? But at the same time, they stuck with it. They stuck with it. We didn't suffer because they're going through problems, you know. We didn't suffer. And I appreciate that, you know. I really do. I was a little bitty boy. I'll tell y'all that story a different time. It's a little heavy, but I was a little bitty boy, and I remember one time we left, you know. I don't know where we was going, and I don't even remember hearing an argument, but I know we left. All right, I'm coming. So we left and went somewhere with my grandmother, you know. And I don't know why, man, but school they put thoughts in your head in school, you know. And sometimes you learning about stuff in school and you tie 2 and 3 together and you dead wrong, you know. But I remember like driving off in the car and I was sad. Like I was sad. If you could imagine the worst day of your life from a weather standpoint, it's cold, it's gloomy, it's rainy. You know that depressing Seattle look? It was one of those kind of days, you know, and I just was feeling super depressed and sad as a kid. I didn't even know what that was. And I was like, man, I hope my dad don't, you know? I don't know where that came from. It had to be school, because, you know, you know, that was during that Just Say No drug campaign, you know? So anyway, he didn't. But that's just how I felt. I had a strong feeling he would. And he ain't never been that type of person to quit, you know, or to get tired. He just work harder. That's where I get it from, you know. But, you know, back to mom's. Mom's held it down, man. She held it down. She made something out of nothing many a times, you know, many a times. And that's why if you ever play Boys to Men, Mama, Tupac, Dear Mama, boy, I become a newborn again, you know, because that's all that woman ever showed me. And I'm not talking about my other siblings. I'm talking about me, my experience, you know. But she was there for all of us. Morning. Good to see y'all. Yes, sir. Thank you. So, Mom's was always there, you know. She held it down. And she showed all her kids love. But I'm just talking about my experience as the middle child. I am a middle child. I don't know if y'all know that. I got 2 in front of me and 2 behind me. And that middle child stuff is true. But yep. So you got to fight hard to keep your family together if you have one. There's so much of temptation to ruin your life, to ruin your family's life. And you see people that give into that temptation all the time, thinking they're not going to get caught. And that's so short-sighted. So short-sighted. You might not be happy with the situation you're in, but all that means is you're not being happy. But what you got to ask yourself is, am I not happy because something is wrong, or am I not happy because I'm being selfish? You know, like you might come home and they always got dishes in the sink. So you're going to throw away 5 years of being with this person because they got dishes in the sink every time you come home? Get rid of all of the dishes and just buy paper plates. And now all you got to do is take the trash out. You know, you might have to go around the whole house and pick up paper plates. All you got to do is throw away trash now. Forget the landfill, fill it up, you know? But, so there's always a way to work around whatever challenge you have that you're experiencing. But the hard thing to do is to emotionally detach from the situation so that you can do that. That's the hard thing. And that's the thing most of us, when we get frustrated in a relationship, we don't do. We don't detach from our emotions to find a solution. You know, it's like I remember, you know, every now and again, we don't fuss often. Cap! But but every now and then, me and First Lady go at it. And I remember one day, I told her, I said, look, do you like your boss at work? I know you don't. But you still listen to everything he say. You still do your job. And you still come to work despite not liking him. I said, just treat me like your boss that you don't like at work. You know? And look, that just made her think. You know, but I'm going to tell you right now. Don't fall in love with me. You know, because you only see one side of me. You don't know the aggravating side of me. You know, you don't know the side of me that when I'm irritated. You don't know the side of me when I'm ready to fuss. You know, you don't know the side of me when I emotionally can't detach or choose not to detach. So, you know, that's the other side of things. And that's kind of why, you know, we got to be careful when we look at certain things that we don't, hey, good morning. We got to be careful when we look at certain things that we don't think that fantasy is reality. And that's one of the things about this channel. I try to keep it realistic. Nothing is scripted. I don't have a teleprompter. All I have is me, my thoughts, my experiences, and my failures, you know, my celebrations. That's all I have. And I'm not trying to be something that I'm not. And from time to time, you know, I can be a perfectionist, you know, but I fight so hard not to do that. If you looked at my offal video yesterday, where I cook offal, which is basically an organ meat. It could be kidneys, it could be liver, it could be heart. It's a organ meat, gizzards. They call that in the restaurant industry OFFAL, offal. I don't remember what it means as far as like the acronym or whatever, but I know for a fact it's organ meat of any animal of any kind. It's organ meat. So my skillet is damaged because I cooked some ground chicken. It was ground up and I cooked it in that skillet and it carbonized in that skillet. And that skillet looked like a train wreck. But the side of me that has perfectionism issues, I decided that I'm gonna still use that skillet even though it may not be appealing to you as a viewer. I don't need that skillet to be shiny stainless steel like it's never been used, because that is not reality. So I'm not gonna I'm not going to let that dissuade me. The only way I will is if it hurts the visual quality of what I'm trying to cook. And pardon me. And yesterday I thought it did a little bit, but so I might try to clean it up. I might put some barkeeper soap in there or something, some salt, and just try to knock some of that carbon off of the skillet. But other than that, the skillet works. And practically it works. And so I don't want to get to the point where I lose the practical side of things, because you may not have a brand new skillet. Don't let that stop you from shooting a video. Don't let that stop you from shooting a video. I don't have sponsors. I don't have Le Cousette sending me $1,000 dang Dutch oven to cook in. So I'm not trying to be like that. I'm not trying to be like that. Everything ain't picture perfect. So I have comments sometimes, and they're like, well, try this, try that. Okay, before you tell me to try something, ask me what is my filming budget. Before you tell me to try this product, ask me what my gadget budget is for the fiscal year. I ain't never used that word before. But anyway, just ask me what my budget is, because it may be a reason I don't have that. And there may be a reason I ain't gonna ever have that. So that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So at the end of the day, there may be reasons that things are the way they are, but I'm not going to make a channel of fantasy, because that's not reality. The reason you don't see me on camera is very simple. I don't want to get on camera because I don't want you to miss the point of the video. Like, if you're really interested in how to boil an egg, seeing me doesn't matter. Watching me boil an egg matters. That's the point I'm trying to make. So I don't want to distract from the message because you're looking at me. It's not about me. It's about the message. It's about the message. And what I find is, because of this human experience, like one of the groups, there was a show, AC Slater was the host of. It was called America's Best Dance Crew, and they had a group called the Jabberwockies. And what's amazing about that group that I really loved, you could not see a person in the group, and as a result of seeing them, pick your favorite one. You can only pick your favorite one based off of looking at all 39 of them for hours to figure out which one had the best technique. So what I think that did was that protected the integrity of the group, because it didn't allow a member to get overcome by ego and pride because of his or her looks and fan base as a result of. Because people, we're people, You pick your favorite based on looks in 99% of the cases. You pick it based on looks. But the Jabberwockies, they're very intelligent because they kept their face covered so that you can enjoy the performance and the expression of their art. And they didn't let ego bust up the group like so many groups do, because you can pick who your favorite is based on how they look. It ain't even on singing. Take Boys II Men, for example. Who was your favorite member of Boys II Men? And was it based on looks? Was it based on true talent? So that's the point I'm trying to make. Destiny's Child. Was it based on looks or was it based on talent? The Temptations. Ohio City Players on CT. But that's the point I'm making. And so many groups fall apart because they get that ego, and they think they don't stink. But if your face is hidden from that, you never get presented with. And that's why the Jabberwockies are great to me, because they understood at the simplest form how to protect themselves as a group from themselves, and they just stuck with it, you know. So that's why you don't see me on camera. I want you to understand what I'm doing, not get stuck on me, you know, as an image. But I will reveal myself when I feel comfortable, when I feel like the channel's at a point where I could do that. For example, somebody watched a video a number of months ago. We started September 8th recording. So maybe around October somewhere, somebody saw a video, and I was grilling some ribs. And most of the time when you grill ribs, you do not have rubber gloves when you're from where I'm from. The ribs cost $60. The barbecue sauce costs $30. The charcoal costs $40. You don't have $25 to spend on a box of latex gloves that's just gonna get all busted up and the gloves gonna fall out. So anyway, I'm being practical and realistic. So what I did was I took a shopping bag, turned it inside out, and I mixed the ribs up with the seasoning like that. So somebody said, no gloves, no sub. And I never wanted to say this, but I wanted to tell that person, I never asked you to sub. How many times has you seen me on camera where I've asked you to sub? That's what I wanted to ask the person. I never asked you to sub. This is free content, no strings attached. I never asked you to sub because that is not the most important thing to me. Just like my face is not the most important thing for the channel. I want the channel to grow, yes, but I want the channel to grow with the right viewer. I don't want the channel to go mainstream as a bandwagon movement. That's not what it's about. But I never asked the person to sub. And if you're watching this video, I never asked you to sub. And that's what makes you great. Because you subbed because that's what you wanted to do. You didn't do it because I pressured you, coerced you, or asked you to do it. That's why I could truly say I have the best viewers. Truly. Emphatically. So thank you. Now we'll never talk about that again, I hope. But so when you get comments, sometimes they can really challenge you and inspire you in different ways. Every comment I ever got, I've read it. And I want to say I've responded back to all of them, personally. I remember getting some, and I didn't really agree with them, but I thank everybody for their comment, especially if I don't agree with it. You know, because I want them to know that I appreciate them commenting on the content. Because whether you like it or not, for you to spend time to comment, I think that's super important. And that's the only thing I ask you to do, comment. Comment, because that's how we learn together. We grow together. That's how we figure stuff out, through an exchange of ideas, civilly and maturely. But day 81 is going great. From December 24th to December 24th to December 31st, I got to try to get 300 miles. I joined this challenge on the app Strava. So today is day 1 of that challenge for a 300 300 miles. Now every week I average, well, the last 2 weeks I've did 400 miles, the last 2 weeks in a row. And so that's been really cool. And I'm thankful for that, you know. Good morning.
Morning. Merry Christmas.
Hey, brother, thank you, man. And look, I appreciate you running, bro. It inspires me. So the guy he's been running consistently for a while. And he's a big man. He got to be like 6'2", 6'3", 300 pounds easily, maybe 350. Big man. More man than me. Andre the Giant. Anyway, I appreciate him pushing me, man. You know, we the only two on the levee this morning. This our levee, right? Don't get me started on no rants. Yeah. So because of diabetes, I forgot what I was saying. Yeah, so I'm trying to do 300 miles. The last 2 weeks, I've hit 400 miles. So last week I did 404, I think. Yeah, 404, 401, something like that. 404. The week before that, I did 495. I almost hit 500, but I felt the cost-benefit analysis was not worth me going the extra 5 miles, and I regret it. I definitely regret it. I should have hit 500 no matter what. But I see, you know, when you're riding like this, you know, a fail is not a failure. Because my goal wasn't to do 500 miles in a week. It just happened. And I should have took advantage of that. And I did not. But I will survive. And so then this past week, it was one of the worst riding weeks I had. But I hit 121 miles Sunday in 2 rides, 40 plus in the morning, 77 plus in the evening. So I had 121 for the day, which bumped my total up, grand total for the week, to 401 miles. So I was really thankful for that. A 400-mile week is a good week, but a 500-mile week is sweet. So my goal secretly at some point is to hit a 500-mile week. And this may be the week. This very well may be the week, because this is one of the last weeks in this year. So I have to hit a 500-mile week. Now it's gonna be hard, I'm gonna tell you that now, because I got too much to do. Too much to do. Family responsibility, husbandly responsibility, dad responsibility, friend responsibility. Too much to do. But I'm gonna see if I can squeeze it in. And if not, it's what it is. So, but I think right now this month, this ride today, okay, so last October I had over 720 miles. November I had 1,346 miles. Now in December, I'm gonna beat today 1,346 miles. I'm gonna beat that today. So that's really exciting. Because if you remember last month, November, the last week of November, I was supposed to ride 40 a day, but all I could do was like 20. So I lost 100 miles, and that hurt. So that's why I stopped at 1,346 and not 1,400. Because 1,400 became my goal, because November 22nd, I rode for 81 miles, and that gave me my 1,000 miles for the month. Well, really, all I needed was 67 miles, but I rode for 81, which gave me over my 1,000 miles for the month of November. So I did 1,000 miles in 22 days, 1,000 plus miles in 22 days. So that was a good push. But I said, well, once I hit the 1,000 miles on the 22nd, I'll just do 40 the rest of the week and be done at 1,400 miles for the month. But it didn't work like that. So I had to be grateful for 1346. But now, today I'm passing up 1346. That's going to be gone. But I'm going to try. So just say 1300. I do this 300. I do 400. That'll be 1700. I'll be somewhere at 1700 miles plus at the end of this month. I don't know how, but I really want 2,000 miles this month. It's not going to happen, but if I could will it through, I will. I really will. Because I'm too close to 2,000 to not try. Now, you might be thinking I'm crazy, and I am. I am. You know, I am. But I'm doing this to my body for y'all. I'm doing this to me for y'all. But I'm gonna end this video right now because I've already talked way too much. And my phone battery is like, please tell him, shut up already. You know? And I don't know the quality of the video because it's dark outside. And so I don't know how much of this video you're gonna see. And I don't even know if I'm gonna publish it because of that. And I don't wanna put my light on my camera because that's gonna deplete my battery even faster. And I need my battery because Strava is following me as I ride. And I have to track my miles on Strava. But something to look forward to. Hopefully I can race Slowpoke today and get some footage of that. Also, I'm gonna do a cooking video with the biker boys. And we're gonna do some po' boys, the perfect po' boy. We're gonna do some po' boys, so I'm gonna hook them up. They're always trying to get on the channel, but it's like they're kids. And I never met any of their parents where I could ask them, do you mind if, you know, your kid is featured on the video? So I'm kind of leery about that. But at the same time, they're kids, man. They want to be kids. So I might just have to get introduced to all their parents and explain who I am, explain about the channel, and explain how, you know, these kids want to be a part of it. Yep. So let me run, or let me ride. Enjoy your coffee. Hopefully you enjoyed some of the content this morning. Thanks for sticking with the channel. Thanks for watching the videos and supporting this channel. And like I say, together we make a good team. Download the free Strava app. Follow me on Strava. And what I'm gonna do is, every time you complete an activity, I'm gonna comment on your activity and I'm gonna encourage you to keep going. That's my pledge to you. Don't wait for January 1. Get your mind right now, because it's ready. Later. Thank you.